Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's Tuesday. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'm recording this kind of late. It's about 9:30 right now in the evening at night. Spent about 4 hours working in the yard after work today, so I'm a little tired. I'm gonna kind of probably slur my speech a little bit going through this because I am tired. So we're gonna try to get through what we do have. We have Digihost reported their Q1 results along with Mawson, so we'll get into that. We'll also take a look at what happened today in the markets as far as, the markets in general, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the miners. And we'll call it a day. All right. But as always, you guys know here, this is not financial advice. For only do your own research. I'm investing in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. So let's take a look at what happened today in the markets here. So the S&P was down today 0.64%. Dow Jones was down 1.01%. NASDAQ was up just barely 0.09%. Bitcoin was actually down today. It was down a little bit. It's now up in the new day. But Bitcoin was up down 0.49% on the day, closed at 27,037. We are up a little bit here right now, about 0.35% at 26,000. No, sorry, not 26,000. 27,132. We are still kind of trending upwards a little bit, which is a good sign. We do have the 20-day moving average touching the 50-day moving average. We'll see if this crosses or not. I'm hoping that it doesn't, like we did over here a little bit, but we'll see what plays out. I'm hoping we get a little bit of a spike in price here in the next 24 hours, but we'll see. Right now, the daily chart on the RSI is looking at 42. It is actually kind of flat right now as far as what's going on there. In the 4 hours here, we can see that the RSI is at 50. Last time it was back here, price was about the same on it, so not much change there as well. On the 1 hour chart, we can see the RSI is at 52 right now. Last time we were back here, price was actually a little higher on it. So we might be coming down. We'll have to see and wait what happens actually. On the other hand, Ethereum was actually up today for the day. It was up a little bit here. It was up 0.43%. It closed at 1,824. It's up a little bit now as well in the new day, up 0.2% right now to 1828. And we'll see what happens with that one as well. Okay, now the miners had a pretty bad day today for the most part. Bitcoin was down, so they were also down quite a bit. There were only a couple that were up today. And here's what I got right now on those. So we got Any was down today 6.5% to 33 cents. Argo was down 9.7% to $1.21. BitDigital was flat on the day at $2.19. Bitfarms was down 2.75% to $1.06. Cypher was up 1.24% to $2.44. CleanSpark was down 6.74% to $4.29. Cores was down 1.33% to 34 cents. Digihost was down 1.97%. $2.49. DMG was down 0.48% to 19 cents. Greenidge was actually up huge today. It was up 13.53% to $3.86. Let me get rid of these lines here to make it easier to see on the chart. Basically gained back some of the losses that we had from yesterday on Greenidge. And then we got Hive was down 4.18% to $2.98. Hut was down 1.07% to $1.85. Iris Energy was down 1.01% to $3.92. Marathon was down 3.04% to $9.25. Mawson was down 4.81% to $2.77. Riot was down 2.08% to $10.85. Soluna was down 5.79% to 21 cents. Stronghold was down 14.26% to $5.93. They had the reverse split happen today. We can see that happened, and obviously the shareholders didn't like the reverse split, so it's down another 14.26%. It was down yesterday. What was it down yesterday? Yesterday it was down also 12.18%, so not good there. Wolf was down 0.63% to $1.57. Okay, so that's all the miners there. Let's take a look at the network hash rate as well, see what's going on there really quick. Let's refresh this, and the 7-day average has come up to 367 million right now, and the 1-day average has come up here just a little bit here to 365 million as it is right now. So trending still upwards a little bit, but kind of trading sideways, going sideways, at least the hash rate is right now. All right, so that's it for those. Let's take a look at the reports that we do have here. So first we'll get into Digihost here. Digihost reports positive adjusted EBITDA for Q1 2023 and provides operational update. So let's take a look at here what we got. Here are the main things here. So revenue from digital currency mining and sale of energy of 4.1 million reported for the 3-month period ended March 31st, 2023, compared to 7.3 million for the 3-month period ended March 31st, 2022, so from last year. The decrease in revenue is primarily driven by the period-over-period decline in the Bitcoin price of Bitcoin. That is true. The other factor is they haven't been growing as fast as the Bitcoin network hash rate has been. In order for them to be generating the same amount of revenue, they got to be basically growing with the network hash rate, and they have not been doing that. Also, obviously, the network hash rate has increased substantially from last year as well. That contributed to less revenue. The company mined approximately 168 BTC for the 3-month period ended March 31st at an average BTC price of approximately 22,877. So in here, they reported 168, but when they release their monthly production updates, I get a different number here. So why don't we look at that really quick, and I think that's it on it. Yep, that's it that I want to talk about here. So let's take a look at Digihost here really quick as far as what they reported here in the last 3 months, or for the first quarter in their production update. So we got January over here, we got 64, 56, 56, or 58 and 56 here. They reported 178.81 Bitcoins being mined during that period, but I guess that part of it is they also do, or they have a hosting agreement with another company where they split the revenue on that, and I think that's why the number for them has actually come down here as far as for what they actually get for that. That's why my number here as far as what they actually generated in revenue for Bitcoin self-mining is off. I had them at about 4.069 million. They came in at 3.809 million, so I was off by 6.85%, and that's why I've been off quite a few times here, it looks like. And that's basically, I just figured out that they are actually using a hosting provider, or with a hosting provider, and they're basically doing a shared revenue and shared electricity split on it somehow. So I got to figure that out, how that is actually impacting it as well. Okay, so that's it for that right now. Let's take a look at the numbers that we do have here for them. So approximately shares outstanding. This is reported from Microsoft Excel. It's pretty close. Actually, I don't think this is pretty close. I think they are, let's go take a look down here because I actually checked on this. 28.5, so that's pretty close. And they have them at, right now, 28.02, so off by a little bit here. Market cap is about 41 million right now. Stock price is $1.49. Hash rate currently is 913 petahash. Future is going to be about 1.1 based on what is reported as them buying. Once they get updated, or if they report on buying any miners, that will get updated as well right now. Okay, so we've talked about this before in the production updates for April. We won't dive too deep into that. We'll look at the last 4 quarters revenue. Last 4 quarter revenue have been kind of up and down here a little bit. They had a really good Q2 of last year, 7.46 million, down to 3.7, then up to 5.6, then back down to 3.8. Now my estimate is 5.7, but given that they are also doing the sharing on the revenue and on electricity as well, that's probably going to be down from that, maybe around 5 million, maybe hopefully within 6% of that. But I'll try to get this number updated, or at least a little bit closer to what they actually mine for themselves. Now, the last 4 quarters operating costs have come up here in Q4 to 10.16 million, but have dropped down now to 6.54 in Q1. So that is good there. Cost to mine 1 BTC minus depreciation. They threw a lot of stuff in Q4, made it go up to 47.63 thousand per Bitcoin. It is back down to 13.29 thousand per Bitcoin right now. That's cost to mine 1 Bitcoin minus depreciation. Bitcoin mined quarterly. This is also a little concerning here. They're mining less and less Bitcoin, meaning they're not growing with the network hash rate or keeping up with it. And that's why they're having less revenue. The only thing that's going to save them is if Bitcoin goes up in value higher. That's how they're going to be able to generate more revenue. Debt to equity has also increased here to 0.33, which isn't bad. And then current ratio is actually kind of concerning as well. That has come down to 0.69. We want that to be at least at 1 or above. So that's concerning there. And then total current assets has been coming down here each quarter. We're down to 3.4 million right now, with pretty much a high of 18.8 in Q2 of 2022. Total current liabilities has been kind of flat for the most part. Did come down a little bit here to 2.65 in Q3. We went up a little bit in Q4 to 3.2, and then it's back up to 4.9, where it's pretty much the same as it was back in Q2. Obviously, the concerning part is current assets are coming down. Current ratio is coming down as well. That's kind of concerning for them as well. Okay, now let's take a look at the actual numbers that we do have here for them. And we'll get into my metrics here in a little bit. Let's take a look at the assets that they do have right now. So cash and cash equivalents came down to 821,000 from 1.8 million. Digital currency is way down also, 262,000 from 2.8 million. And then we have amounts receivable, that actually went up, so that's good, 2.1 million from 1.2. And then income tax receivable is actually down to 168,000 from 244,000. So total current assets is down to 3.4 from 6.12. Like I said, that's concerning a little bit there. And then property and equipment, that's down a little bit here to 41.2 from 41.8. Right of use assets is also down a little bit to 2.49 from 2.53. Promissory note receivable, that's the same. Intangible asset went up a little bit here to 1.4 from 1.3. Goodwill has been reported again here at 2.4. That wasn't there before. And deferred tax assets, that's 0. So total assets right now is at 51.9. That's down a little bit here from the 52.5, almost 52.6 that they had at Q4. Okay. Now, as far as liabilities are concerned, accounts payable and accrued liabilities has increased to 3.2 million from 2.3. So that's a concern there. Amount going to Northern Data and YC LLC, that actually decreased to 115,000 from 322,000. So that's good. Lease liability went up a little bit here to 103 from 99,000. And then mortgage payable actually went up a little bit here to 496,000 from 488. Not a big deal there. And then loans payable had 957,690. So that's a new one there. So total current liabilities went up to 4.9 million. And then you can see some of the other things here. I'm trying to see if there's anything that was definitely a big change here. Warrant liabilities, that went up to 6.4 million from 821,000 in Q4. So that obviously brought up the total liabilities to 13 million from the 5.4 that they did have. So that's concerning there on that one. Total liabilities and stockholder equity, 51.9 compared to 52.5. So that came down a little bit here. Revenues. Here's what we have. So self-mining came in at 3.8 million. That's down from the 5.6 reported in Q4. I wonder if sale of energy was in this as well. They didn't report it, at least in Q4. They did report it in Q1 now. So that could be the drop in that one. Expenses, cost of power actually came down here to 2.2 from the 9 million that they reported here in Q4. So that's good. That's more in line with where they were in Q3. Other production costs actually went down to 183,000 from the 1 million, so that's good. Depreciation and amortization is down a little bit here to 3.2. That's not a cash thing, so I'm not really too worried about that. Minor lease agreement, that's a new one. That's 638,000 here. Cost of power plant operations, that's a new one, obviously, because they do have the new power plant, so that's 269,000. We'll see how that goes forward. And then when we take a look at gross profit minus depreciation here, we're at about 45.59%, so that's pretty good. It's better than it was in Q3. So that is a bit of an improvement there. Okay, that's kind of what I base my numbers on when I do the 50% net income from gross revenue. This is kind of what I'm looking at here, 50%. And then when Bitcoin does really well, they get closer to 75%, even better than that as well. Let's take a look at some other things here. Office and administrative expenses, that came down to 467,000 from 794, so that's good. Professional fees also came down to 737 from 415, so that's good. Regulatory fees actually increased to 83 from 5,000 here. Gain on sale, that's nothing. Loss of settlement, that's nothing. Foreign exchange gain, that's down to 47 compared to 799,000, so that's good. Loss on sale of digital currencies, that one was 873,000 in the positive, so that's good. And then loss on digital currency option calls, that one was down to 164,000 compared to 1.9 million, so that's good. Other income was up to 6.8 thousand from 218,000. Change in fair value was down also negative this time around, 225,000 compared to a positive 1.1 million. And then share-based compensation was down also nicely here to 401 instead of 812,000. Let's see, what else do I have here? Loss on revaluation of digital currencies, that was down to 10,000 compared to 1.8 million. So in total, income loss before income tax came in at negative 3.3 million compared to 26 million here in Q4. So that's good, but it's still higher than it was in actually Q3 here. So that's not good. Going down here, the net loss came in at 9 million here for the quarter compared to 26 million loss in Q4 and 1.6 million loss that they had in Q3, where they actually had a profit here in Q2 and Q1, it looks like, of last year. Okay, so it's better obviously than it was in Q4, but still not that great. And then they lost 32 cents per share on the EPS, earnings per share. Okay, so that's all that data there. Let's take a look at some of the metrics that I do have here for them. So cost to mine 1 BTC came in at 13.2, almost 13.3 thousand. So that is an improvement here, but it is an increase from Q3 nonetheless. Debt to equity has come down here, or went up a little bit here, and the current ratio came down. You actually can take a look at the book to value ratio, all those other things. And then I look at also revenue compared to general administrative compensation, and it has come down here to 21%, so that's good there. And then, like I said, I've started tracking what the shares that they're reporting here for each quarter, things like that, so that way we can track to see how they are diluting or not diluting, okay, going forward. Based on all of this information, if we look at where they are right now, they are at $1.49. I have them at a P of 5 because not a lot of growth here. We'll see where they actually end up growing here this year. But right now we don't have too much growth. So I do have an P5, so I'm looking at $1.70 perhaps to $2.55. They're at $1.49 right now. They are still slightly undervalued, but pretty close to where they should be valued, I think. So they do have an undervalued rating right now, by me at least, on all of the information that we do have. Okay, so let me know what you guys think of Digihost. Obviously, they're one of the smaller miners here, along with DMG and Soluna right now. Those are the guys that are just close to 1 exahash or under 1 exahash. But we'll see how they continue going forward. And some things that are concerning, but some things that are also positive, lowering their costs, general administrative and other things like that. That's good there. They just got to keep this up and actually grow their hash rate more. Okay, as I feel like I'm a broken record, just they got to grow their hash rate. And that's unfortunately the case with these Bitcoin miners. They got to grow their hash rate. Okay, so that's it for that one. Let's take a look at, I believe it's Mawson next. Yep. So Mawson here as well has reported their Q1 2023 financial results and then selected unaudited financial highlights for Q1 fiscal year 2023. Here's what we have here. So Q1 2023 financial and business highlights: revenue of 7.67 million, gross profit of 2.99 million. They signed an expansion amendment to the additional 20 megawatt at the Midland, Pennsylvania facility, increasing the total facility to 120 megawatts of power available in Q2. So that's good there. Commenced construction of the final 70 megawatts of the 120 megawatt Midland, Pennsylvania facility. That's good. Started construction of the new 120 megawatt Sharon, Pennsylvania facility with 12 megawatts on site available for energization in Q2. So that's good. Corporate development subsequent to quarter end. They sold the Greenfield, Texas leased and transformers for $8.5 million in cash and stablecoins. So that's good. They acquired a new 24 megawatt facility in Corning, Ohio on long-term lease. So that's good. Commenced energization of the final 70 megawatts for the Midland, Pennsylvania. That already covered that. That's good. They also raised approximately $5 million equity capital and increased self-mining machine count from 5,880 in March to 13,500 machines deployed as of May 10th. We still have not received their production update for April. I don't know what's taking them so long to get that out. It shouldn't be that difficult to provide the numbers. How many Bitcoins did you mine? And what's your end of month hash rate? How many machines do you have installed? It shouldn't be rocket science to figure that stuff out. So hopefully they'll get that to us within the next week or so, and then we'll cover it at that point. Okay, so let's take a look at Mawson here, what I have for them. Oop, not there. Where did I go here? And Mawson is right here. I've also updated their my spreadsheet for them up to the new layout, the dashboard style, and we'll go over this when they actually provide the Q4 numbers. But in here, we're just going to kind of look at shares outstanding is 14.3 million roughly, as provided by Microsoft Excel. Market cap is about 39 million. Stock price is at $2.77. Current hash rate, I have them at 533 petahash. Future hash rate is going to be about 1.7 exahash right now. They still have about 1.1 exahash left to install. Okay, we'll get into this when they provide their numbers here for April. Things that we want to take a look at here are the last 4-quarter revenue. So Q2 was their best month here of 16.21 million in revenue. Q3 way down here to 5.9. Q4 down even more to 2.19. And then Q1 came in a little bit higher at 2.756 for their self-mining. I'm estimating them to be about 2.7 now in the current quarter that we're in, so the Q2. Their last 4-quarter operating costs here have been coming down as well. I probably should update this so it's not that big of a chart. I should probably make that about 18 million as well. Didn't want that. Let's see here, format. So, and we want to do this one, Axis. We want to change that to 18 million instead of the 90 million that we do have there. There we go. Now we can kind of see what's going on here as far as comparison-wise. Okay, so Q2, 14.3 million in operating cost. Q3, 18.8. Obviously, that's a lot higher than what they actually made here. Q4 was 6.7, and then Q1 was 4.678. So they are kind of coming back down a little bit on that. Still not above everything here, but this is for their self-mining. I think this includes hosting and everything else in here. So we'll see on that one going down further. Cost to mine 1 BTC is at 13.8. That has come up here since Q4, has been coming down ever since Q2, Q3, and Q4. Bitcoin mined quarterly has been coming down also, which is also concerning there. It is up a little bit here to 121 for Q1 compared to 115 for Q4. Debt to equity has come down a little bit here as well. Stayed flat here from Q4 to Q1, 0.73. Current ratio has come down here to 0.344. That's also concerning there a little bit, but still not too bad. We'd like to see that above 1. Total current assets has also been coming down here ever since Q3. They're down to 16.74, and we probably should update this one as well because this one is giving us a goofy format on that one. So instead of 16, let's go with 600 million. Let's go with 400 million or 40 million. Like I said, I'm tired. It's late, so I've been doing this. Oh, it's 68 million on that one. So we probably should drop and increase this to 70 million. There we go. Let's increase this as well to 70 million as well. And that way we'll have a equal comparison on what we want to take a look at. Okay, there we go. So that's been fixed. And yeah, we can see that Q1 total current liabilities has increased to 48.5 million. Okay, and the total current assets is down to 16. So that's also concerning there a little bit. And the main reason I think for that is, and this is just my opinion here, is they do a lot of hosting, and I hate hosting because I believe it is just not as profitable as self-mining is. Okay. All right. So here's what we got for Q1 results. Current cash and cash equivalents, including restricted cash, went up a little bit here to 1.3 from 946,000 in Q4. So that's good there. Prepaid expenses went down to 1.9 from 3.4. Trade and other receivables went down also to 7.9 from 10.4. Assets held for sale, still the same amount here. Digital currency is at 28,000. They report none there in Q4. So total current assets is down to 16.7 from 20.3. So that's concerning. Property and equipment net went down to 84 million compared to 91 million. Derivative assets also went down to 10.6 from 11.3. Equipment deposits increased to 2 from 0. And what else do we have here? Equity is 0 now. Marketable securities is 0. Financial assets is 0 here. So marketable securities actually went down, so that's good. Security deposits is way down here to 224,000 from 2.5 million. And operating lease and right of use is down a little bit as well to 2.5 from 2.8. So total assets is down to 116 million from 133 million. Current liabilities. Trade and other payables is up to 24 million from 10.5. So that's obviously, I wonder if that's related to minor purchases maybe. Current portion of operating lease liability is up a little bit here to 1.39 from 1.3. And then current portion of finance lease liability is up a little bit to 31,000 from 30,000. Liabilities held for sale, 0. Borrowings is down a little bit actually to 22.9 from 23.6. So that's good. So total current liabilities actually increased to 48.5 million from 35. So like I said, that's a little concerning there. And then when we look at total liabilities, we're looking at 49, almost 50 million compared to 57 million. So those liabilities have actually come down here a little bit. So that's a good thing there. Total liabilities and stockholder equity is at 116.7. So that's down from 133.3. Revenue, here's what we got for revenue. So self-mining was 2.756 million. That is actually up a little bit here from the Q4 at 2.196. Hosting is up also to 4.3 million from 3.5 roughly. And then sale of cryptocurrency mining equipment is down to 150,000 from 3.7 million on that one. Net energy benefits is also down to 441,000 from 7.4 on that one. That's why they came in at 16.8 revenue in Q4 and down to 7.6 in Q1 right now. Biggest change here was obviously net energy benefits on that one. That definitely didn't help out there. Okay. And let's take a look at some of the last costs of revenue, exclusive depreciation. So they lump it all in here. I calculated this based on the percentage as far as what possibly could be their cost of self-mining. I don't know this for a fact. I'm just doing the total cost here that they reported and taking that and dividing it, I believe. So what do we do here? We took Q1 self-mining, that one, divided by Q1 of revenue, and then we multiplied it by this. So we got, so the percentage of basically what they generated in revenue, multiplied that percentage by the cost of revenues, and I got about 1.68 million possibly for that. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm using there. Expenses, general administrative also went up a little bit here to 4.97. Would love to see that come down a little bit more. Previous quarter was 4.94. Share-based compensation went up. Don't like seeing that, to 1.068 million compared to 887,000. Depreciation amortization came down to 7.9 from 17, and that's what we got here. So this is basically total expenses was 14 compared to 22. So that's actually good. That came down here on that one. But share, which one is it? Depreciation is a non-cash item, I believe. Net loss gain income for the period was negative 11.6 million compared to negative 22. So that's good there. Better, not as big of a loss there so far. Gross profit minus depreciation came in at 39%. That's down from the 59% they reported here in Q4, but it's a little bit higher than Q3 though, so that's at least some good there on that one. Other comprehensive income, let's see what else we have here. You guys can take a look at all this stuff. I'm not going to get into it here, but net loss attributable to Mawson Infrastructure Group shareholders was negative 11.1 million compared to 18.1, so that's good there. The only thing that is concerning here is basic and diluted shares. EPS was down to 0.80 cents, or negative 80 cents basically per share on that one. And then we have the basic and diluted, I think it might be because the number of shares here decreased quite substantially. That's why that's gone up here compared to where they had before here. Okay, let's take a look at the metrics that I do have for them on this. And then cost of my one BTC came in at 13.8. On that one, debt to equity, we talked about that. You guys can take a look at the book to value, beta as well, and then revenue and general and administrative compensation. That is really high, 78.82% compared to where it was in Q4 of 34%, right? I'd like to see that below 20%, ideally under 15, even under 10% of that, but 78% is pretty high right now. And then here's this number of shares that they reported of 16.2, and we have them at actually 14. So that's actually an old number there. It hasn't been updated yet by Microsoft Excel. When that does get updated, so here's the thing. I'm trying to think if I should just use the numbers that are reported at the end of the quarter by the companies, or if I should rely on Excel to provide that information through their stock function information that you can provide, that get information on stocks. Because we are seeing some differences here, obviously what's being reported and what Microsoft is reporting. So I may change that up. I may actually put that in here and then calculate the market cap based on the number of shares reported by the company instead of relying on Microsoft Excel to provide the accurate data there. Okay, that's one of the things that I'm looking into possibly doing. Okay, so that's it. Oh, down here, I almost forgot. We got to take a look at this. So currently they are at $2.77. I have them with a PE of 8 right now, possibly. So that would be at $3.94. And the main reason is because they have so little shares out right now. And then if we look at the 75% net income, we're looking at $5.90. So they are undervalued in my opinion right now. But yeah, I mean, their self-mining is horrific, and their hosting I'm not a big fan of. Right now they are basically trading at a PE of, what is that, a 5 or 6, somewhere around there, 5.5 if we look at it this way. So I give them an 8, a little bit of a premium there from where they are right now. So I do think they are still slightly undervalued, but they definitely have to grow their own hash rate going forward. Okay, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, the spreadsheets are available to my Patreon members. Let me know what you guys think of all of this. A lot of data. If I have any errors, please let me know. As you guys know, I have a lot of data points that I'm tracking here. I could make a mistake. I'm only human, not a chat GPT robot or anything like that. So I can make mistakes. If you guys can point them out to me, I'd appreciate it. It's always better to have a second or third set of eyes on all this data here. So when you guys do report it, I do appreciate it, okay? As always, what was I going to say? Oh, YouTube members will get the dashboard images here, probably uploaded tomorrow to the members section only. And then we'll see what else happens during the week. We are still waiting on a couple miners to report their Q1 results. Those include here, let me see here. Digihost just reported theirs today. Mawson also reported theirs today. We're still waiting on Core Scientific here, it looks like. Who else do we have here? We got TerraWolf that we're waiting on, DMG, Bit Digital, Argo. Argo's not going to provide it because they provide every 6 months. So they're not going to provide it. Iris, we're still waiting on, and Hive to provide theirs as well. So we still have a couple of miners that need to provide. When they do provide that, then we'll get into the miners as far as how they performed for the quarter, and we'll see which one came out on top. Okay, but that'll be probably in another week or so, if not more, depending on when everybody else reports. All right, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. This video is going to be out late. I apologize for that. Hopefully we'll get stuff out tomorrow a little bit earlier. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great one.